The reigning champions of Europe, Real Madrid, reacting to a disappointing La Liga campaign, moved decisively in the transfer market by signing Colombian star James Rodriguez for €75 million following his sensational World Cup performances, and Toni Kroos, the Bayern star, for only €25 million. At the same time, Barcelona secured the services of Luis Suarez, the Premier League's top scorer, for €80 million and further strengthened their squad with Ivan Rakitic. Meanwhile, Atlético Madrid, the defending league champions, reinforced their squad by signing Mario Mandzukic and the highly promising talent Antoine Griezmann for a fee of €54 million. The new season kicked off with Luis Enrique determined to restore Barcelona to glory, while Carlo Ancelotti was intent on capturing the league title with Real Madrid to cement his place among the club's greatest managers. Building on his previous successes, he set out to replicate that triumph once more, bolstered by the club's high-profile new arrivals. As the league started, Barcelona secured first place until the 9th game week, when they were set to face Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. Real Madrid didn't have the greatest start. After a win against Córdoba, they lost to Real Sociedad, and when the derby came, a tactical masterclass from Diego Simeone, using Gabi and Coke to press Kroos and Modric and render Real Madrid's possession useless, plus a goal from Arda Turan, handed Real Madrid their second defeat. After that, Cristiano Ronaldo delivered an outstanding run of form, scoring 13 goals in 5 matches and restoring Real Madrid confidence as they headed into the clash with Barcelona. Luis Enrique produced a great counter-attacking team, giving Messi new roles, while Neymar was in excellent form. Rising talents like Munir El Haddadi enjoyed a good spell, and with a defense that had yet to concede, Barca were the favorites in the Clasico, with everyone excited to see Luis Suarez's debut. After just 4 minutes, a great pass from Suarez and an excellent finish from Neymar gave Barcelona the lead. However, Ronaldo's penalty after a Piqué handball made it 1-1. Early in the second half, a goal from Pepe and a third from Benzema turned the game to 3-1 for Real Madrid. A second defeat against Celta Vigo, with a goal from Joaquin Lervi and an assist from Nolito, who was having an outstanding season, made the situation in Catalonia even more tense. Things heated up further when Barcelona dropped to 4th place behind Real Madrid, Atlético Madrid, who had just beaten Córdoba with 2 goals from Griezmann, and Valencia under Nuno Espirito Santo, whose side had a rock-solid defense with Otamendi and Mustafi and dangerous crosses that had already led them to victories over Villarreal CF and Atlético Madrid. After El Clasico, Real Madrid continued their winning streak, sweeping aside teams like Granada, Eibar, and Rayo Vallecano, until they traveled to Mestalla. Despite a goal from Cristiano Ronaldo, Valencia took all 3 points. A strike from Barragán, a cross from Parejo, and a powerful header from Otamendi completed the comeback. At the same time, at Anoeta, Barcelona faced Real Sociedad, and the lineup came as a huge shock. Both Lionel Messi and Neymar started on the bench. Barca went on to lose the match, tensions exploded, and fans began to call for Luis Enrique to be sacked. Sporting director Andoni Zubizarreta left the club, and it felt as though the season in Catalonia was collapsing at that moment. Next up, they were set to face Atlético Madrid. Although Messi missed training due to gastroenteritis, everyone knew his absence was really down to problems with Enrique, which forced Busquets, Iniesta, and Xavi to step in and mediate. Xavi was out injured, so Rakitic started, and the forward line of Messi, Suarez, and Neymar was restored. After only 13 minutes, Neymar opened the scoring with a goal assisted by Suarez. Then Suarez added the second after a pass from Messi. Despite a goal from Mandzukic, Messi scored the third and officially announced the birth of the legendary MSN. At this point, after Real Madrid's 3-0 win over Espanyol, with a goal from James, who had already reached 11 goal contributions, after half of the season had gone, the title race was wide open again. Real Madrid sat 4 points ahead of Barcelona, and Atlético Madrid were in 3rd place with 41 points, still hoping Antoine Griezmann would return to form. Sevilla under Unai Emery was trying to compete for the top 4 in the Europa League, while Villarreal, which had troubled Atlético Madrid, Real Madrid, and Valencia, relied on Luciano Vietto, whose outstanding season had made every big club keep an eye on him. The tactical formations were clear at this point, and Barcelona appeared with a different style, with vertical passes, more direct football, and utilizing Messi as a wide winger, giving him freedom and creating a new version of him, different from the false nine. Suarez started to become increasingly important in the build-up, and Neymar had a role similar to Messi's but with less freedom. It was a great 4-3-3 featuring Iniesta, Busquets, and Rakitic or Xavi, with Alba and Alves creating problems in the half spaces. This tactical shift made Barcelona much more dangerous in transition and harder for opponents to defend against, leading to clearer chances on goal and a noticeable improvement in their attacking output. As a result, Barcelona began dominating matches with quick, incisive moves that turned tight games in their favor. Real Madrid, after that loss against Atlético, embarked on a winning streak using either a 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 formation, with Benzema creating space and supporting both Bale and Ronaldo, who had been having an outstanding season so far. Ancelotti converted Toni Kroos into a register, but the pressure on him and Modric, with no fresh substitutes, became a serious issue. The lack of midfield depth meant both players had to log heavy minutes, leading to noticeable signs of fatigue as the season went on. This fatigue made Real Madrid more vulnerable defensively and less tactically flexible, as the midfield struggled to recover balls and maintain their sharp passing late in matches. Without reliable options on the bench, the team began to lose control in matches where Kroos and Modric could not sustain their usual intensity. Diego Simeone hadn't been far from the top, but the departures of Diego Costa and Felipe Luis affected his team, and Griezmann didn't perform well in his new role as a second striker. Real Madrid were heading to the Calderon to face Atlético in another derby. This time, Real Madrid were top of the table with a 5-game winning streak, but without Modric due to an injury that affected Real Madrid so badly. On the other hand, after that loss versus Barcelona, Atlético Madrid came back to form, and Griezmann contributed to 5 goals in 3 matches. Real Madrid started the match with Khedira, Kroos, and Isco in midfield, a typical attacking 4-3-3. On the other hand, Atlético played with a 4-4-2, using wide midfielders and Mandzukic as a target man, Griezmann to make vertical penetration, overloading on the wings and relying on crosses, trying to isolate Toni Kroos. After 14 minutes at the Calderon, the nightmare for Real Madrid began with a goal from Thiago Mendes, and just 4 minutes later, Saul Niguez scored the second. Ancelotti tried to find solutions in the second half, asking Benzema to drop deeper and switching to a 4-4-2, but Griezmann's third, a statement of his real arrival at Atlético, and a fourth from Mandzukic after a cross from Torres turned the derby into a clear humiliation. Meanwhile, Barcelona went on an excellent run, beating Deportivo and Elche before facing a tough challenge against Villarreal. Despite Villarreal taking the lead twice and an outstanding display from Luciano Vieto, a goal and an assist from Messi helped Barca turn the game around. Then came a 5-2 win at San Mamés, with Messi, Neymar, and Suarez all scoring. Suarez was finally starting to find form. Neymar was reaching his peak, and Messi was simply being Messi. At this point, Real Madrid had 54 points at the top, Barcelona were just 1 point behind, and Atlético, with 50 points, was still in the title race. Everyone was looking ahead to an unforgettable La Liga run-in, and the tension around Spain was palpable. Despite their huge win against Real Madrid, Atlético slipped up against Celta Vigo. A poor performance, capped by a goal from Nolito and a tactical masterclass from Eduardo Berizzo, who did what Ancelotti had failed to do, cost them 3 vital points. Real Madrid then put together 2 wins in a row, with Ronaldo scoring his 29th goal of the season against Elche. At Camp Nou, however, Barcelona lost to Malaga after a mistake by Dani Alves, and the MSN suddenly disappeared. The criticism of Luis Enrique returned, the mood crashed again, and, unexpectedly, the gap at the top stretched to 4 points. However, Barcelona didn't lose focus and responded with a new winning streak against Granada, Rayo Vallecano, and Eibar. Suarez contributed to 5 goals in those 3 matches, while Messi scored once against Granada, a hat-trick against Rayo, and a brace against Eibar. In Madrid, things didn't go well for both sides. Real Madrid drew with Villarreal and lost at San Mamés to a header from Aduriz. Also, Atlético had a bad run with a draw streak versus Sevilla and Valencia, despite taking the lead first. A header by Mustafi made it 1-1, and another setback versus Espanyol put Atlético Madrid out of the title race. Real Madrid still weren't matching Barcelona's form, but Luka Modric was back, and the second leg Clasico at Camp Nou was approaching with Real Madrid just 1 point behind. The tension was sky-high, and the pressure on both sides was heavier than ever. Despite Barcelona having the advantage on paper, Real Madrid started the match perfectly, a 4-3-3 turning into 4-4-2 in defense, with Bale dropping deep to control Messi and Neymar's danger. However, a free kick was performed by Messi, and a header from Jeremy Mutu gave Barcelona the lead after only 12 minutes. A great assist from Benzema, with a beautiful backheel finish from Ronaldo, scoring his 31st goal of the season, made it 1-1. Real Madrid were better. Kroos and Modric produced pure football. Messi wasn't too effective due to the pressure from both the left midfielder and the central midfielder. Ancelotti had done great work to seize Luis Enrique's team. As the second half started, a great diagonal pass from Dani Alves to Luis Suarez, who made a great control, resulted in the second goal. Luis Suarez proved his quality and scored the most important goal in the title race. This decisive strike not only secured a crucial win for Barcelona over their arch-rivals, but also gave Barcelona a decisive advantage at the top of the table and energized both team and fans, making it clear that they were now favorites to win La Liga. After this night at Camp Nou, both teams had 10 games to finish the race. Barcelona had to play vs Sevilla, Valencia, Real Sociedad, and Atlético. On the other hand, Real Madrid had to face Valencia and Sevilla. At this point, Atlético Madrid and Valencia were out of the title race. They had to do everything to get a Champions League ticket. After El Clasico, Real Madrid didn't lose focus and remained strong, with a super hat-trick from Cristiano Ronaldo versus Granada, against Rayo, and a special performance from James, then a win versus Eibar. Meanwhile, Barcelona went to the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan. Despite taking the lead with 2 goals, a comeback from Sevilla with a goal from Bonega and a goal from Kevin Gamero as a super sub resulted in a disappointing draw for Barcelona that made the title race more heated, and it was a precious point for Sevilla in their race with Valencia. Barcelona were going to host Valencia at Camp Nou, and both teams had a strong motivation to win, with Valencia 3 points ahead of Sevilla and Barcelona 2 points ahead of Real Madrid. As the match started, a diagonal pass by Busquets to Messi, a cut inside, and an assist to Suarez gave them the lead too early. However, Valencia were the strongest side, with the skills of Rodrigo and Fegoli, and constant dangerous crosses led them to a penalty, but a save from Bravo preserved Barca's lead and title advantage. The second half was much better for Barca. In the 93rd minute, a counterattack by Pedro and a goal from Messi gave them a hard 3 points vs a strong opposition. Despite all Valencia's pros being a nightmare to all strong sides, they relied too much on Dani Parejo, which made them lose points vs lower sides and led them to a 1 vs 1 competition versus Sevilla to get a seat in the Champions League, as Atlético Madrid were in a better situation in 3rd place. In Catalonia, at RCDE Stadium, Barcelona were going to face Espanyol in a derby. The Barca players were under pressure from boos and aggressive play from Espanyol. Despite that, a goal from Neymar and a second from Messi made Barcelona pass this night, with a red card for Alba due to dissent. James Rodriguez had 4 goals in a row with Real Madrid, featuring 2 crucial assists vs Celta Vigo in a tough match, continuing their winning streak with brilliant performances from Ronaldo, reaching his 16 assists and 39 goals despite Modric's second injury. Real Madrid, with Carlo Ancelotti, tried to use more players and strengthen the squad depth. Barcelona, after 2 tough wins against Valencia and in the derby, enjoyed 2 great shows versus Getafe and the lowest side in La Liga, Cordoba, while Real Madrid had a hard match against Sevilla at the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan. A hat-trick from Ronaldo made Real Madrid get the 3 points and host Valencia with a chance to flip the board. On the other side, Barcelona hosted Real Sociedad with bad memories for Barca players. At Camp Nou, the match was aggressive. Real Sociedad players got 5 yellow cards, a header from Neymar, and Pedro came in to secure the win. Meanwhile, at the Bernabeu, Valencia struck Real Madrid with a cross from Gaia and a header from Paco Alcácer, despite Madrid's danger. A free kick by Dani Parejo and a header from Javi Fuego made it 2-0. After Real Madrid pressure led to a penalty being given to Bale, Ronaldo took a step forward but missed, which made them go to the dressing room at a disadvantage, and Cruz came off after only 25 minutes. Despite a header from Pepe, assisted by James, and a powerful goal from Isco, the match ended in a draw. That meant the next match for Barcelona could be their crown. Barcelona went to Madrid to play at the Vicente Calderon against Simeone's team, while Real Madrid went to Catalonia to face Espanyol, with a hat-trick and an assist from Cristiano Ronaldo, making it an easy win for Real Madrid. At the Calderon, Atlético Madrid had already secured a seat for the next Champions League, but they had the motivation to prove that their transformation was complete and they were ready to compete for the next season. The match started, and it wasn't easy for either side. An orchestra performed by Pedro and finished by Messi made it 1-0, declaring Barcelona as champions. In the last round, the title race was over, but Sevilla and Valencia competed with each other to get into the top 4. A 3-2 win for Sevilla after a Malaga player was sent off made it quite easy for them. At the same time, Valencia was struggling against Almeria, but a goal from Paco Alcácer secured the dramatic 3-2 win and the 4th seat in the Champions League. In Catalonia, celebrations began, especially after 2 goals from Messi, but for Deportivo La Coruña and Eibar, the stakes could not have been higher. Deportivo knew they had to earn at least a draw to avoid relegation, while Eibar, even though they were winning 3-0 against Cordoba, still needed Deportivo to drop points to secure their La Liga status. As the match progressed, Deportivo unexpectedly scored 2 goals and managed to level the score, dramatically flipping the outcome and ensuring their top-flight safety at the expense of Eibar. Later, Lopo, a Deportivo defender, said, "I told Xavi to take it easy, that a draw was a win-win for everyone. They were already champions, and the pace was crazy." At the end, Sevilla won the Europa League against Dnipro, which meant they would play in the Champions League next season, and Elche were relegated due to financial problems that made Eibar continue in La Liga next season. Xavi said goodbye to the Camp Nou after this season, winning the treble, a great farewell for a legend. He said, "I felt like the luckiest man in the world. To leave with a treble, hearing the stadium chant my name, That was the perfect ending to a story I couldn't have written better. At the Bernabeu, Cristiano scored another hat-trick against Getafe and reached 48 goals for the season and secured the top scorer award with a 5-goal gap between him and Messi. Iker Casillas declared his departure, another legend to say goodbye. But it wasn't the farewell he deserved, and he said, "I didn't want a grand farewell, but I didn't want to leave in tears either." 2015 was a year of suffering, both on the pitch and in the stands. The main advantage Barcelona had was the development and better squad depth compared to Real Madrid. Rakitic, Rafinha, Alcantara, and Pedro were crucial to making Barcelona win that race. Atlético Madrid passed their season and looked forward to continuing their project with Griezmann as the star and Luciano Vieto for 20 million to compete in the next season. Don't forget to subscribe. As fans, how would you compare this unforgettable season to other great La Liga campaigns?